all of this fucking Aiyuk talk for months on months on months. I want to have this conversation with you from a different perspective, because obviously we understand that nothing has happened. My question to you is, looking at it from your perspective, at what point does it look like the 49ers have a lot of egg on their face? I understand if they offer a lower contract, someone wants to come in higher, they want to negotiate, that's fine. But to go from 26 to 28 to 30, now he's got the number he wanted, and they're still at a stalemate with details that probably could be hammered out in a night. Do you feel as though the Niners are kind of looking weak in this moment?
Well, I think to trade him would definitely have looked weak. It's hard to. I mean, I think everybody is at fault here. He picked a team that he wanted to get traded to that was never going to give the 49ers really what they want, I don't think, unless something changes in the next few days. And it turns out, not going to give him a number that was that much different than the 49ers number. We know the Patriots were willing to give him 32 and the Browns were going to give him 30. If he said, I want to go to the Browns, it's actually a better football situation. And the Niners, he'd be a Brown, but he didn't pick the Browns because the Niners would have done that deal. He picked a team that the Niners wouldn't do a deal with. I think when we'll be able to kind of write I want to say the final chapter is if they re-sign him and he plays, or he plays on the fifth year out. But if they re-sign him, if he starts the year only able to play 75% if they get a slow start to their offense because Brandon Aiyuk's not ready to roll right away, that is ultimately, that's when there's egg. You know what I mean? Until then, they get him signed tomorrow and they beat the Jets week 1 on Monday night and he's got 7 catches and a touchdown, whatever, right? But until then, we're here to figure out all the different scenarios. To me, that's the scenario where it's bad, where it's like you wasted there's only one bye, you don't have games to waste. They started so hot last year. And Bosa, Bosa didn't get the sack numbers. Bosa said yes, the whole thing affected him. Debo the year before said yes, the whole thing affected him. I don't know. You look at some of the advanced metrics, Bosa was still pretty damn good. But to me, that's where it's actually a problem. It's like if it actually affects your season.
Yeah, and in Bosa's situation, he almost feels like such a statistical outlier because he was so dominant when he really had a full season of preparation, off season of preparation, hopped in, immediately was leaped into the conversation as one of the best, if not the best, at his position. And then even on an off year, it felt like he was still so dominant. Aiyuk, I think, obviously an incredible receiver. It's why these conversations are being entertained instead of just kick rocks, we don't care anymore. Obviously, the 49ers value his skill set, but I don't know if he fits that category of such a statistical outlier, such an athletic freak that an entire offseason with no building chemistry with Purdy, with no getting his body properly conditioned. Maybe he is on the side, I don't know. But what we're looking at here, it seems like, is a rerun of a show that we have already seen, which is player holds out. And again, I think you hit it right on the head. In this particular case, I think there is blame to go around. The 49ers do have kind of a nasty history of letting this stuff drag out a little longer than they should. But then whenever this happens, the players come in and they're not performing at the level that they were the previous year that instigated the whole conversation and get this contract done to begin with. So
it's mentally unhealthy to be in this, not to make light, but it's seriously, this is not the mindset an elite athlete wants to be in before they play games. It's just not. And I think that as much as anything is for Bosa was in shape. It's the other stuff of it gets acrimonious. You've got to clear the air. You got to come together. The second you sign that contract, all that stuff doesn't just go away. Thanks for the money. Oh, that stuff I said to you guys and that stuff you guys said about me,
right.
We're good. Forget it ever happened. It was all just part of the game, baby. No, it doesn't. That's not how humans work. So that's the part that Like, is he going to be as good of a player? Not, I mean, he's plenty young. It's not about that, but, you know, and let's not pretend. I don't think anybody is pretending that, like, teams are just 80 people and support staff and everybody gets along. And if you don't get along, then it's a problem and blah, 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 blah. Like, not really. They don't, like, Kyle and Aiyuk don't need to talk on a day-to-day basis, but I don't know. I mean, anyone who's worked in any environment where they had good relationships knows that there's a percent. I don't know what value to add to it, but people just feeling good is a thing. You add to it the fact that McCaffrey's not on the field right now.
Correct.
No, Christian will be fine when it gets going, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Christian loves reps, so they seem to matter to him. He takes a bunch of reps in minicamp. He takes reps in training camp. So it matters to him to get reps. He's not getting reps right now.